Hi. Hi. How are you? Oh, you look gorgeous. Oh, sorry. Just, I don't know, just the way the light caught you. What's up with your skin? You look beautiful. A new skin regimen. What are you doing? You look bloody brilliant. I can't get over it. Yeah, I'll tell you. I love you. What? Who said that? Who said that? Is that corny, me saying that I'm in love with you? Is that mad? Is it mad that sometimes you the person listening to this podcast, sometimes I kind of like have these like fantasies. This is weird. Like you and me just kind of run around fields of wheat. Is that weird? And like that song, shut up and dance with me. Oh no, you did look back, and then you're right on me. And then we're like spinning around, like our hands, enclasped. Our hands are in clasps, and we're spinning around in circles in fields of wheat, and we're like pushing over wheelie bins. Shut up and dance with me. Some farmer comes out in like a kind of a onesie with his bare arse, a little flap for his bare arse, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "Get over it, fucking old timer. We're young and in love." Well, I don't know. Maybe we are in love. Maybe we are in love. Maybe you and me do become in love. Whoever you are, you're a woman or a man or an NB. Maybe you and me become infatuated with each other. And and look, it goes well for a while, but I can't. There's just this dynamic is wrong. The dynamic is wrong because you're a fan, and you're a fan of the pod, and there's a power in that. And I fucking exploit it. I start gaslighting you. And I'm like, don't be hanging out with you. Your mates don't get me. This is my process. I'm hungry. Make me a sandwich. How am I supposed to make gold when I'm hungry? I'm so sorry, babe. And then so I'm actually kind of grateful that we have that. I'm grateful we have this distance. You're there on the ear hole, and I'm here on the mouth hole. And that's just the way it has to be. Otherwise, oh my God, we would just spiral. I would spiral. You'd be fine. But look, hopefully that doesn't. Hopefully, that doesn't happen. But in the meantime, how are you though? How are you? Look, I know I've kind of gone through this whole thing just I don't want to hurt you. Do you know what I mean? It's important to set boundaries. This audio thing is as far as it can go. No, look, how are you? Are you good? Look, I'm excited now for this gig. I've got these pony gigs coming up. I'm excited about them now. That's what I've decided. Well, it's not even what I had to decide. I am excited. Sometimes you can get these butterflies, and you have to think to yourself, are these butterfears or excite moths? And I think now they've revealed themselves to be excite moths. So it should be a good gig. Good couple of gigs. Kicking off, though, in Galway on the 26th of February. This Saturday. In the 26th of February with special guest Shane Daniel Byrne, the legend. The hilarious man. The guy I just sit there when he was on the podcast. I'm like, wow, funny fucker. Not even listening to what he's saying because I'm thinking how funny he is. He's going to be joining me for the show and for the Limerick show. On March the 4th in Thowlands, and there are tickets still available for those gigs, and it should be fun. And like they are excite moths, the feelings that I'm feeling now, which is why I think I can't remember which pod I was talking about it on, but I am looking at alternative mental health practices this year, and I was doing the therapy thing for a while, and it was fine, and I got a little bit out of it, but I realized that there's nothing really. I kind of thought that I was kind of hoping that there would be, not hoping, Jesus Christ, I was kind of hoping, no, not like trauma or anything like that, but I was kind of hoping to make, there's something that's like, oh, that was a thing that made me think this thing, and now I don't think that thing anymore, and we would unravel it. But I've been this podcast has made me, as I said, scrape the bottoms of the barrel from my memories, and it's all good, unfortunately. It's all been pretty good. So everything else is really just on me, I think, at this point. I can't blame my parents for anything else, really. It's all on me. So I've been looking at kind of alternative things I can do for my mental health. Some of them physical, some of them taking up classes in various things, like looking at jiu-jitsu. I was looking at CrossFit for a while, and then everyone was like, it's bad for your knees. So I think might go with jiu-jitsu where people tear your limbs out instead. But watch the space. It'll be all after the tour. But I am looking at taking the money that I would have put into therapy and looking at how I can best use that. And what I'm looking at the moment is hypnotism. I'm looking at a hypnotist. I've gone to a hypnotist. I've seen him twice. And I bawled the first one, unfortunately, because I started asking for stuff and then I changed my mind and said, no, I actually don't want that. I want something else. It was like I put in an order in a menu for someone to fucking remap my mind. And then while they were in the kitchen, I was all like, actually, do you know what? I'll go with the chicken, you know. So I want to be a chicken now instead. No, this isn't. I've talked about this guy already. I got onto some hypnotist, and I sent an email, and the chap called me straight away, which I thought was sketchy enough, right? Picturing this guy waving his watch back and forth, no one in his office. His phone starts ringing. He blows the dust off, and hey, how you doing? Let me do a total neural remap on your head, and it'll be 2 months' wages. You know, he was charging an extortionate amount of money. And he was also giving me the Jordan Belfort kind of hard sell. He was like, give me 3 options, the cheapest of which is still a tenth of what this other hypnotist was charging me, who I've actually gone to go see. And he was acting very assumptive language, you know, yeah, you'll do that for me, right? You know. So which one will you be going with today? You know? And like, anyone who picks up the phone to call a hypnotist, I'm imagine is pretty easily influenced, right? Like me. You know, like me, I just have to kind of like you. I'll even not fully like everything you're saying, but you know, if I want something, I'll be like, yeah, that's you're speaking exactly to my soul. You know, reading horoscopes, being like, how do they know me? Like, I do not have to kind of treat that with kid gloves and be like, I might have some extra influence on this person that maybe I need to just be careful. This is exactly what they want. But he was trying to hypnotize me over the phone. And I almost said yes, but then I decided to go to this other fella who had a bit of a kind of calmer demeanor, didn't seem to want me, so I wanted him. And I met up with him, and I told him what I wanted, right? I wanted more drive, right? I wanted more power. I wanted to be like someone you see on YouTube that hacks their day and does more before 6 o'clock in the morning than most people do in their fucking week, you clown, right? That's what I was after. There's a bit more kind of drive, right? And so he was taking everything I was saying. He was like, okay, yeah. And then you kind of got down to the nitty gritty, you know, why don't you have drive? Why are you distracted? And then ultimately came down to this thing I was saying about when it's kind of, when I feel like it's a big thing that I want to put myself into, put a lot of myself into, like this show, you know, I find that the things that come out of my head have to be really special rather than just getting everything out of my head and then picking and seeing, kind of sifting for gold that way, you know? And so he was taking all this like, yeah, okay, so when it's about you, when you feel that it's in line with, you know, this is who you are, you feel a bit vulnerable to try and kind of share that. And I'm like, yeah, kind of. I don't know, maybe, but I'm like agreeing to it. Like, you know, you go to the barbers and you try and explain what you want, even though you should just stop being such a toxic fucking man and go in and show a picture of Jason Momoa and say, just give me that. You know, but you're trying to explain what you want your hair to do, and then you think that they have it, but they don't exactly say what you say back, and you're like, yeah, that's fine, because you just don't want to push it anymore because you're so fucking Irish, you know. That, but for your mind and how your mind works, that was the kind of vibe I was getting off him. And also I was kind of thinking, I want him to help me stop procrastinating, right? But maybe I don't want to stop procrastinating. Maybe procrastination is just something you can't really stop. It's not really binary because there's layers to it. Smoking is like you're smoking or you're not smoking, right? Drinking, you're drinking or you're not drinking. With procrastination, it's like, so I need to be kind of an elite. You know, I need to look at my to-do list and constantly be working on it. Does that mean me never looking at YouTube ever again? Does that mean me not resting when I need to rest after a show? You know? Procrastination, I don't fully know what procrastination looks like, you know? So if I don't know what that looks like, how can I tell my brain to stop it, you know? So I was getting a bit worried about that. Because also procrastination was like I beat myself up for it all the time. The other day I was doing stand-up at night, and, you know, I'm up early enough, so it was a long day of just, I was kind of faffing around. I wasn't really doing anything, you know? I wrote a bit of the show, I had practiced a bit, I went for a walk. And then I was kind of like, I'm going to get fucking back into bed. I'm going to have a nap. And I had a nap during the day. And then Terry came home early. And I shot downstairs like I was in trouble. And even Terry was like, what are you doing? Are you having a wank? You act like I caught you doing something. And I was like, no, just, fucking, I feel like it was a bit of a waster today. I didn't really do much. And she's like, but you have that gig later. You're doing that, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, so why wouldn't you rest before? And I was like, I love you so much. Maybe I will have a wank now. No, but I was like, yeah, I do that. Like, but I always do that. And I don't recognize my own patterns, which is sometimes it's not procrastinating. Every time before a gig, I don't do much because I do kind of maintain my energy, and it's not a conscious plan. It's what I do. So why am I doing the thing that I normally do, which is what works, and then, you know, this is any good? This is getting a bit self-indulgent now. But anyway, I got onto the hypnotist and I said, look, I don't want you to help me with my procrastination. I actually love my procrastination. I want you to help me stop getting McDonald's breakfasts. So that's what we're going to focus on. Well, we're going to focus on the whole snacking in general thing. My whole treat culture that goes on in my head where everything's a treat. Pig watch. Maybe no more. Watch this space. Hopefully we'll do something with that. Anyway, can I tell you about I have a guest this week? And she's fucking brilliant. I know. Listen, this is technically her second time on the show. She joined me for the Home Alone commentary with Kevin McGahern that time where I fell out of my chair. Pig watch. Anyway, it's Justine Stafford. And I said, Justine, I would love to have you on the pod and I would love to talk about whatever you want to talk about. She was like, I fucking love Crash Bandicoot. And I'm like, brilliant. Let's talk about Crash Bandicoot. So we talk about Crash Bandicoot. We talk about how he was her first crush. We talk about kind of PlayStation and early kind of noughties culture in general. I probe her for all the facts about Nobber, the town where she's from, and we have a good chat. Justine is hilarious. She's one of the funniest people I know, and it was a pleasure to sit down and chat Crash Bandicoot. And we talk about the Rose of Tralee. We talk about whether boobs and willies are funny in movies. And it was a really great chat. I highly recommend her podcast, the Substantial Meal podcast with Martin Angolo and Dermot Ward. Very funny podcast. But anyway, here she is, the great Justine Stafford on the Tony Cantwell Shit Show. The Tony Cantwell Shit Show. Justine, how are you doing? How's your commute?
Oh, stop. Horrific. I mean, I'm trying to move back up and it's just a nightmare. Yeah. But like then I get up to Dublin, I want to do my few bits while I'm here. So like I had to go into Brent Thomas and get makeup. And I just, you know, when you walk in a door of a place that you don't belong and suddenly there's a security man alerting two other security people. I'm like, yeah, I don't, we both know.
And all the women,
I don't. Yeah, we both know I don't belong here. But I wasn't going to rob the place, but I fucking just might now because of the way I'm being treated in here. It's a disgrace. And then they come at you. They're honestly like builders looking at my face because I go in to get my makeup. And it's like they're, you know, like a lad doing like an estimate of what he could do for your room. Like I could do a bit of work up there. I could throw on a bit of see what happens. Like that's what they're doing.
The Mac counter coming at you with a trowel.
That is it. Yeah. You might need 2 trowels to be honest. But that's so I got my makeup and got out.
Great.
And
get in, get out.
Grabbed a few perfumes. Just put them in the
And
bag.
where would you like? Is there like, you know, where would be the best place if you had to grab stuff at Nobber? Where would be the best place to be getting your makeup?
You can't. I mean, you've one shop. You can't really do that because you're never going to be back in there again.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You'll be on their list.
So you're looking for the makeup, but they also have like those really thin footballs. You know, the ones where you kick and they're like.
Oh yeah.
Club Orange. The kind of an everything shop.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's it. And I think it's a good way to tell of a shop. Honestly, I think like the equivalent of a Michelin star at a restaurant is having a plastic ice cream cone outside of a shop. Yes. That's, you know what, you're onto a winner of a shop. That's a good shop there. Yeah. If they have the big plastic cone outside. That's how you can tell. Yeah,
you know you're in luck.
Yeah, but I do miss Dublin and I am trying to move back, but it's just a nightmare. Yeah. And I'm just, as well as that, I'm just trying to survive January because like it's been 900 days.
900 days.
January is long.
Oh yes. Yeah, sorry. I thought Yeah. Just general code. Fuck yeah, Jesus, has it been? Oh my God, 3 years. Yeah, no, it has. It's been. I mean, it's also like, did you mess with any of that dry Jan?
No, I just thought, look, life's hard enough, and as well with the fact of the lockdowns and everything going on, it's like, come on, really? Yeah. And as well, it's just the most depressing month. And then my birthday's on the 2nd of January, which is honestly the worst day of the year.
Oh my God.
Like, you know, everyone starts their New Year's resolution on the 1st. Yeah. So like, you're going to stay strong for day 2, January 2nd. Everyone's money's gone after Christmas. Everyone's sick of going out on the place. It is honestly the worst day of the year. I'm depressed.
I wouldn't even give you a kind of, hey.
No.
For January 2nd.
You'd be like half a used tin of roses as a present. That's what you get as well. Is people just got shit for Christmas they don't want. They give you as presents.
That's no, I mean, I'd be all kind of like, you know, this reminds me of, and this is a weird tangent. I went to go see Boyzone in... Whoa now. When was this? I went to go see Boyzone in Hyde Park when I was living in London. And there was a song that came on that Stephen Gately would have sang. And all the lads kind of did, like, it seemed very impromptu. Ronan was all like, look, just want to, say a few words about Stephen, and everyone's like, yeah, and then Shane, and then, yeah, and then Keith, yeah. And then everyone was kind of saying, and then Mikey at the end was all like, I know, look, just again what the lads were saying, they just want to say a few words about Steve, but like the crowd were kind of out of sympathy. That's what that makes me feel for January 2nd for your birthday. It's kind of like, hey.
I mean, he had fatal deviation, though. He's not doing
He did have fatal deviation, chopping up his gack with his Duns value card. What a flick.
Wow, what a movie.
What a movie.
Yeah. The last time I saw you, just remind me, you fell off a chair.
I did fall off. Well, I didn't fall out of a chair. I fell into, and then the chair collapsed on top of me.
Yeah.
And I'd love to say I've lost weight since then. I'd love to tell you that. But no, they were flimsy as fuck.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
But you know what I felt as well, like when then afterwards when they took away your chairs to be like
that was rough now because I was enjoying a good sit.
It was a good sit and it was a good director's chair. So we did the Home Alone commentary, and then as I was pointing at Marv coming in at the baubles, and I'm like, those baubles are actually made of candy. That's why they don't hurt his feet. And then my chair just absolutely collapsed. But like sometimes it's like people are like, oh, no, making a bigger deal about it then afterwards. And then when they took away your chairs, I felt a bit embarrassed, Yeah,
that wasn't ideal. That's really why I wanted to come up here to address that.
You addressed that chair,
I haven't let it go. It's been noted. And
like, I don't know if you've ever seen Kelsey Grammer. He's doing Frasier. He's doing this talk of Disney, and he's like, the Magic Kingdom, and then they had Epcot, and he's walking across the stage. He's got his amazing voice, and he just falls flat off the stage, just walks straight off the stage, thinking there's more to the stage. And then the whole show stops, and the audience just looking at him. And then he's sitting on the edge of this step, and he's got 5 people around him, and he's like, oh. It's rubbing his leg, and everyone's making a big and everyone's trying to think, what do we do, But he just fell, and
my God.
But everyone's kind of stunned. That's what I felt like.
Yeah, that happened to me in the International. I fell onto the stage, directly going up.
Fell onto it.
Yeah.
And what is that, about 5 millimeters?
That's the more impressive part. It was like
falling up is fun.
Yeah. But it's this is a great start. I have to win them back from this. I'm not sure how this is going to go. And as well, because a load of my friends had come to that show. So I was like, great, they're seeing me at my peak. This is it.
What's the worst gig you've ever had?
Probably that one. I would say that one, because then I was going home afterwards.
Really? Were you on the back foot from when you fell? Were you kind of,
it was a ropey road back. But then literally afterwards, I was on the Lewis home, and I got out of my stop, and these 14-year-old boys tripped me up. And I thought, what is happening? And I questioned, should I just quit? Not even comedy, just life at that point. I was like, maybe it's just too much.
That is such a coincidence, and not to victim blame, but somehow your fault. I don't know.
It is.
You called it on yourself. You brought it on yourself. I don't know. I'm not right.
I think so. Yeah. I fully agree. I probably shouldn't be wearing roller skates on stage.
That's the thing as well. Yeah.
Heelys. Don't swear. Do you remember there was a time they were banned from shopping centres? They were the thing. Never mind knives or guns. We don't want Heelys in here.
I don't want Heelys. I would have loved Heelys.
Yeah.
I'd be all over, just going by windows, just staring at people on their bottom floor flat, just going by on their Heeley, looking in.
Yeah. And I remember I wasn't allowed to get the official ones because my mum was very you'll break your neck.
Yeah.
I mean, she was right, in fairness. Look at what happened to me years later.
Yeah.
But on a flat surface. But
let's get you the cheap ones with no ankle support.
Get me the cheap ones where the wheel falls out, and I'm mid-glide in the school thinking, this is it, gonna fucking get those bullies today, and boom.
Become a shoe.
Yeah.
It just becomes a shoe, as if by magic.
It's, yeah.
Do you think, because when I have people on this pod, I often think, I want to ask about things that you're mad into or things you have a lot of enthusiasm for, but I also tend to be curious about what kind of shit were you into, what kind of subculture, because I was an emo and I was a little hippie goth. Yeah, big time.
Did you drink cans of Monster?
No, that was a bit after.
Okay.
I did actually
early
after
wave.
I stopped becoming the early wave. No, I was just drinking tears.
Oh, okay, nice, yeah.
No, although I did have a bit of a Monster addiction when I was working in a stockroom. I used to drink two big cans a day of pineapple Monster a day, and I don't think I had a poo.
Oh, shit.
I don't think I had
a full year.
Yeah, certainly not in its solid form.
Wow.
I think I peed for 2 years.
That's outstanding. But that is a thing that literally anyone that I know that has worked in DVD shops or game shops, they honestly do, because I thought this is a stereotype, it's not real. Yeah. They honestly do all drink Monster or Red Bull. I'm
do.
Is there do you get a discount or something? I don't know what's happening.
You show your fringe and then they're
All right, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm adding to Zoa now. That's actually the Rock's energy drink.
Yeah.
So, well, it's not available here, but as soon as it is, I'm
getting on that brand ambassador.
Yeah. So, what were you into any of that? Were you a rocker?
No, I would say a confused child. Yeah. It's like just trying to stay upright was my biggest concern.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I found photos recently. Yeah, because I used to juggle. So
yeah.
I had a very confused style that I would wear soccer jerseys with a waistcoat over them and tracky Fila bottoms and Fila runners, and that was my style. And I mean, I think I was just handing, bullies more ammunition. I'm like, do you know what? If you can't pick up the face, here's my outfit. Go for it. It's
well, you just but like no, because I can relate to that. I used to wear like a luminous Diodora tracksuits,
oh, stunning,
with the tearaways, that I would never tear away, but would always get caught in a door, and then all of a sudden underwear. There were Heelys, now they're shoes. There were trousers, now they're underwear. You know what I mean? These things happen so quick.
Fashion back then, it peaked.
Where were you basing? Where did you see the waistcoat?
Do you know what? It was on sale in Penny's one day that I thought, do you know what? I'm going to make something of this. I'm onto something here. And I mean, I would wear it over hoodies. I would wear it. It just went ever. It was because I was overweight. So I think I was like, this is going to hide and distract from the fact that I have a stomach because waistcoat. So you can't. Like literally.
Well, it has those 3 buttons in the one that kind of actually just gives room for your waist. It gives, It's actually more of a shoulder coat than a waistcoat, really.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's kind of like a reflective jacket in hindsight for showing off the fact that you have a waist, the clues in the name, and that you're overweight. So
especially those little pointy arrows that literally point at your
So again, just handing out to the bullies. Insult me for this.
My brother-in-law one time it was actually at his wedding, and he also he got into juggling, he got into Diablos, he got into all that sort of stuff, and I dropped something. I think there were these kind of like the paperweights to like hold down kind of like balloons and stuff like that. And I had like 3 of them. And I actually just dropped them and I threw them in his direction. And he caught all 3 and started juggling them.
Oh, yeah.
And if that isn't the moment to really show off your skill, have you ever had a chance to actually really like, this is a real life moment. I've been waiting for this moment.
It's when people don't know that you do it and then that someone throws it to you. And I did it on a date once, and
that is the hottest shit.
Well, no, there wasn't a second date, but I thought I'm definitely onto something here, you know, because then you're like, see that ball control, that could be you, that could be you. If you're lucky. I wasn't, and I fell on him, so it
was one skittle and 2 balls, and they were like, I could even just do multi.
But so that was it, because that it's best when someone doesn't know you can do it, and then you just casually drop it in.
Do you know what? And I'm sorry to say this is just being a despicable man here. If you juggled on a date, I was at a date and the woman juggled, I would be so jealous that I actually don't know if I could get over it.
That's okay. I'm going to tell myself that's why he didn't text me back.
No, I think so. But like, I think I'll be like, oh shit, you can do that. Well, I'm a wordless piece of shit. So see ya.
It's the same with some guys with the idea of girls being funny, that they can't really come to terms with. It's that same thing. I'm flattered that you would think that.
Yeah, I would.
Because we were discussing it last week, and this is basically my last year if I ever want to go for the Rose of Tralee. I've never had it really in my mindset to do it, but then, people ask me, what would your talent be? And I'm like, I'd have to juggle.
Yeah.
What else could I do?
Yeah.
I think Dahi O'Shea would appreciate that.
Oh, he'd love it.
There'd be a bit of fair play to it. I was thinking he could even throw me in a few potatoes.
Yeah.
Just fresh from the ground. He picked them himself.
Yeah, and just keep going and see how many you can get going.
Yeah.
You should do it, Justine.
You
should do it.
I had a friend go for it for like the Meath one, and didn't get through. But I just remember all the free like trips they went on and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds a bit fun. But
I did a pod on it. The escorts have to pay.
What?
To do it.
What?
Yeah. And
second then if they get with the one that's engaged and is like about to get proposed to by their American boyfriend on stage. Like, you could have escorts going thinking, this is going to be my weekend, going to pull, and I'm with the engaged girl. But
I actually think you do very well, Justine, because what you because you are judged not just on what you do on the stage. You go around the town, like you talk to people, and it's how you're kind of chatting to people through the whole time.
I don't know, me and my Heelys going around Tralee. I don't know, falling onto the fucking stage again.
She can't stop falling. She can't stop fucking talent. She can't stop falling. This one.
I don't think, because that's heartbreaking. You know when you see the girls that go for it and they don't make the live show.
No.
That's.
Yeah.
And like Meath had a like running streak of never getting on the live. I think they've only been on the live show like twice.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a bad start, really.
That'd be the perfect one. I mean, the bar just is so low. You must.
No.
But maybe if you don't, yeah.
No, the Meath Rose won it like 3-4 years ago, and
Right.
she had recovered from cancer and is now a doctor because of that, and wants to cure and help people that are suffering. That I'm like, juggling with Heelys.
You used to juggle now, do the videos.
I'm going to put on a waistcoat. That is today's talent. Like, I can't really compete with that.
Yeah.
Would you ever do the escort thing? For the Tralee, for the Rose of Tralee.
That ship is long past. But I mean, I would have liked it, because I mean, it does sound it sounds quite like militant and boot campy. It's kind of like you might have to be called upon at any point to like hem a dress. You know, you might be called at any point to fix a shoe or carry a glass slipper somewhere.
This is
and I could do that, like crawling under shit like Tough Mudder. No, wearing a waistcoat, getting a shoe to someone on time. Maybe I'd get it late.
Like, I think they should have done, instead of Ireland's Fittest Family for like the 900th season, they should do like Ireland's Fittest Escort and like building their way up to the Rose of Tralee. That'd be far more fun.
That would.
The task I'd be given an escort would not be the norm of just like, could you fucking pour us another pint there, or just could you hold that while I go for a piss. I don't think I fit the criteria for.
But they do have to do whatever you want. Like they do.
Don't say that to me now.
I'm telling you, you should get in there and be like, this is my slave, escort. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's a very difficult thing to describe to people outside of Ireland, though, the Rose of Tralee, because it's just so incredibly Irish. It's not like a Miss World. It's not, because then you do have just someone like doing a talent of making a ham sandwich or something like that. You're like, oh.
But that's the thing. It was best described by a researcher on my pod, Ben Clifford. He was like, it's more the kind of like, it's not the Miss World. It's not the hottest woman. It's the best person to bring home to your mammy. Like, it's the best person. It's the best person to bring in like future wife material, you know.
That's a very accurate description.
But now the married women can get in.
Yeah.
They changed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they brought up, because I would have been out last year, they brought up to 28. It was always 27. So this is my final cutoff year, which is depressing.
This is it. Come on. They're doing it for you, Justine.
Is it a sign? Who knows?
So look, I asked what you could talk about anything in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, sorry, I don't mean to be giving it put on a massive pedestal, because I know how sometimes people present me, so this is the best thing in the world, and you have to. But I asked if you were to talk about that and what you talk about, and you were like, you know what? First thing comes to mind, probably Crash Bandicoot or like PlayStation 1 era games.
Yes.
Is that an important time for you? Was it an enjoyable time?
Oh, a very enjoyable time, because honestly, this was like my sexual awakening. In that the first,
Bandicoot? Those jeans, man.
He's a little tease. They are just sitting on his hip.
His chest as well. He's honestly, good looking.
I'm sorry, but the whole game derives around smashing boxes. He can fucking smash mine any day. And I will, if you're listening, Crash, because you're a real person in my mind.
Yeah.
But no, because that was the first, because like that was my first crush. Like, who was your first celebrity crush?
Do you know what? Along the same lines, there was...
You're not having him. Yeah, I'm sorry, he's mine.
No, but like, I could even show you a picture. My first crush was like Gadget Hackwrench from Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. Who along the same kind of, you know, cartoony kind of animal vibe. Also in Sonic the Hedgehog, the show, he had a kind of a friend who was kind of in the nip but had boots, and he was kind of in the nip, but like I don't even remember what her name was. But it was also on the kind of same, being like Maid Marian from, you know, from Robin Hood, that fox, you know. So I get it. Yeah. Because it's kind of, you're just coming out of the kind of, these are the animals that kind of, you know, cover your walls and stuff that are meant to be like showing expressions when you're a kid, and then you're kind of having weird feelings, and you're like, this one's actually attractive, kind of in love with this one.
And I'm not ready to move on to actual people and fancying them, because that seems problematic. They might reject me, whereas I don't think this cartoon can, because if I just push square again, he'll just spin. And,
hey, escort, spin for me. Do like Crash did. A friend of mine I went to college with, he had this awakening. He had this, it was wallpaper on of all these animals, and there was this giraffe on it, right? That had these gorgeous eyelashes, right? And he had it there until he was like 11, right? and he said that he was in love with the giraffe.
Oh my
and he didn't see, it was like his unrequited love. It would never happen. She was a giraffe. He was a boy, and she was living on a wall. And he came home one day, and his parents, as a surprise, had done up the bedroom and had gotten rid. And he screamed. He even brought it up to me in college, and he was like, I actually haven't gotten over it. I was in love with her.
My God.
Like he would have featured on like a TLC kind of like weird, weird whatever it is show, My Weird Love or whatever.
He would have married that thing.
He would have comfortably married it, taken it off, pasted it on something.
Did they like burn it? Like, as in, was it gone? Did he
gone.
find it from the bins?
I mean, it would have been in the skip, Would have
went to a farm.
Imagine had he seen it with this fucking scraper. It would have been. Screaming.
Oh no!
But anyway, sorry, I'm jumped on about 2 copies. I'm jumping on mad tangents.
Oh no, that's years of trauma. That's honestly, that's
it is.
That's
you just have to respect these things and explain they're not real.
Can he not go to the zoo now? Like, is he traumatized?
Well, giraffes just are so fucking insane looking. They are so striking. They have eyelashes that are so beautiful. Like in the Circle of Life, Lion King, and see and those eyes and the eyelashes come out, and they have fucking like alien antlers. Like, if you never saw a giraffe before, I did say to my wife before we had our son, I was like, I'm never showing him an animal, and then every year for his birthday I will show him a new animal.
Oh wow!
And he will only have the context of the last animal. And on his 18th birthday I'll show him a giraffe, and mind blown.
Wow. I'm just fascinated by your friend of like the idea, can he have tall friends? Like, does that even...
exactly. It's probably affected him. I reckon he's quite tall as well. I reckon it kind of does shape you, because I remember my first crush in school was like a ginger girl, and she looked a bit like Maid Marian, and it was like, and so it's really from the first and then adding on, And to be honest, Pornhub kind of suggestions, it's kind of like it's all kind of linking together. But Crash Bandicoot, for you, he's a buff-looking thing. He's got cool shoes, gloves. Did you like the glove?
Oh, I bloody did. Of course I did. Oh, he was such a bad boy. He really was. And as well, because again, like Sonic the Hedgehog, I had a thing for him too. Yeah. Totally.
And your attitude. You like an attitude.
Yeah. Again, he had a thing for rings. He was always looking for them. I'm like, yeah, let's get on that. Not so fast, though. He's like, wants to be the fat. I'm like, okay, one step at a time, Sonic.
So one's smashing rings, one's collecting rings, one's smashing boxes.
Yeah, and then Knuckles, except you don't really want that fist in you that quick.
No, you don't. Take off the gloves, mate.
Yeah.
Just take off the gloves. I love your dreads and all. You got a good thing going.
First. Yeah.
I know you'd pass me a spliff at fucking at EP, but take off those gloves, bro, before you get in here.
Yeah. No, there's definitely, I think all my first crushes were video games, because these can't hurt me. And like Rayman.
Rayman?
Yeah, I think
him and the big schnoz.
Yeah, and did you play Gex?
Gex, yeah. Enter the Gecko.
I bloody loved him. Yeah. But no, Crash was number one, and always was, and always will be forever and ever. Amen.
So all right, Crash Bandicoot comes out in 96. In Ireland, that means we probably would have got it in 97. So what age are you then playing Crash?
Yeah, I was born in 94, so I'm about 7 by the time my brother had
you actually had played it, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, great,
because I just remember it was like the Pied Piper, with his flute. I could just hear these sounds coming from... Yeah, I could just hear it coming from the sitting room, and I went in to see what are these fascinating noises.
Yeah.
And it was my brother after buying and playing Crash Bandicoot, and I was like, this is it for me. He's Bandicoot. I'm hooked,
Crush Bandicoot.
And I remember taking days off school because I had to finish the game before my brother, because we only had the one memory card, so we could only save it's his bloody game,
Yeah.
And I had to be the one to finish it, and I really devoted a lot of time to that little Bandicoot.
Yeah. So what age would you been for that kind of awakening for you for Crash?
7 or 8.
7 or 8. Yeah.
But I was doing research, and like his full name is Crashworth.
What?
Crashworth Cortex the First.
He's a Cortex?
Yeah, because he was like tried to be mutated by him, and he's this like half rejected.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and that's his actual title, which didn't sit well with me because it sounds a bit.
It's a bit.
Yeah.
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 You don't want to shame, but it's a bit. But if it was,
first, I mean, what?
If it was kind of Fitz Crash. Or something like that, or kind of, Crash Murphy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I used to love Crash. I remember when I got a PlayStation, I got a PlayStation, right? And my dad did the most amazing thing. He was telling me, this is when my parents separated, and my dad was all like, so I want to get like a games console, you know? New lease on life, a new man. You know?
Yeah.
I want to get a games console. What games console should I get? And I'm like, well, I think, you know, and so I'm like 10 at the time. And I'm like, well, I think you should get a PlayStation. PlayStation's kind of for adults. SNES is kind of for kids, kind of for little kids. And even Sega's kind of for little kids. PlayStation's kind of for adults. And Crash Bandicoot's pretty cool. Like all the kind of teens are playing Crash Bandicoot. And he's like, cool, right? I'm going to get that for myself. And then on Christmas, it was all the big ruse. And it was to get it for me. And I woke up. And on Christmas, I had PlayStation Crash Bandicoot. And I couldn't fucking believe it. And I was over the moon. That was probably the greatest moment.
Do you know the only comparison I have to that is that when I worked at McDonald's, this guy came in and was ordering a McFlurry and said, what McFlurry do you like? And I said, oh, well, I like the crunchy one, it's nice. And then he bought it and gave it to me. Now, that's not a PlayStation and Crash Bandicoot games. There's not really. And I couldn't even. I was like, man, I have a 4-hour shift left. That's just going to melt there. I don't want this. Get out of here, you schmuck. And it was just ridiculous.
You worked at McDonald's?
I did, yeah, on O'Connell Street.
Always wanted to work at McDonald's.
Do you know what? It like. Not the work. Like I actually had a good time there. I liked that job. I did it in college, and it was. There was a lot of benefits to it, and you could get a McPassport, they called it, whereby you could work in any McDonald's in Europe if you wanted to leave.
Really?
Which was nice if you wanted to just leave and, you know, live in another country and have a job secured. But it wasn't even, I remember doing the interview and they were like, why do you want this job? And it's like, I just love McDonald's. I love the food. And then the first day, you don't get paid for your hour lunch. They give you a €10 voucher for food. And like the manager who'd interviewed me was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, oh, geez, no, I won't eat any of that. And he goes, I thought you loved McDonald's. I'm like, oh God. But there was a guy, he used to spend his lunch on 10 €1 hamburgers, and every single day. He's long gone now, God love him, but he diabetes got him in the end. But you know, I was impressed by that. I just didn't want to be that every single day eating that. That was the biggest problem with not gaining a substantial amount of weight, where I'd need the waistcoat again to try and hide the fact that I gained weight, you know.
Start putting a few waistcoats on, covering yourself in waistcoats.
But I remember the first day that I worked there, it was like they brought us in and they were like going through the health and safety procedures, and they were like going through what to do if someone rings and says they've planted a bomb in the restaurant. And I'm like, hang on now, day one, I thought we were learning, you know, how to make a McFlurry or what tie goes in a Happy Meal. I didn't think I was dealing with a terrorist attack on Ronald McFucking McDonald. You know, I'm like, this is day one, really. And then they're going through it and they're like, so the first step is to listen out and see if they use any McDonald's terminology. As it
very
may
good.
mean they're a former employee.
Wow. Criminology as part of your fucking training. That's incredible.
But also, I'm like, how bad do you have to treat your staff that when they leave, there's a risk they might bomb the place?
Well, do you know what? I've realised the reason. So two things make me, I think of that. One is, I think the reason I wanted to work at McDonald's, because it was like the amount of employees they have, there is billions, if not trillions, put into the fact that these people can't sue or should never sue. So they must treat their employees quite well.
Really do,
you know, so that must be important. But the other thing that makes me think of is we were interrailing, and you know, like you just get into some sort of like edgelord bullshit chat with your friends where you're kind of like, going to be as edgy as fuck. And my mate was saying when we were interrailing, he'd have a couple of pints. I think actually he said it in Amsterdam. He was a bit high, and he was all like, tell me, if you wanted to do a terrorist attack, what you should do is... and this is how he starts the sentence.
This is the guy who got the giraffe taken away. 100%. This is what he's gotten into now.
You just fucking kill all the giraffes because they're not her. Because they're not her. No.
Do it for her.
Do it for her. No, he said, he was like, Joe, you should do, if they ever wanted to. I think there was, I don't know, there'd been a terrorist attack. He's like, what you should do is just call up... call the government or call the police and say, I've planted a bomb in a McDonald's.
Oh my!
And just a McDonald's. And actually no, sorry. He said, if you want to be a terrorist, just bomb a different McDonald's every time, and it would bring the world to a standstill.
Oh my!
And we were kind of like, yeah, don't say that shit. We were kind of like, don't say that shit anymore. But we kind of were like, oh well, I suppose we were kind of we suppose you could do that, you could. And then, but then later on, he was chatting to we met these girls. While we were interrailing, and we were kind of like hitting it off with them, and he had kind of a couple of drinks, and he was all like, do you know what I was thinking there? And he brought it up again. I'm like, don't talk about the McDonald's terrorism thing. don't. Have you ever wanted to bomb McDonald's? And then that was the end of the chat.
I think they gave us that talk because your friend then. He's clearly
must
done this.
be, yeah.
But as well, the other thing that got me about it was like, they're like, oh, listen out to see if they use McDonald's terminology. I'm like, what does that phone call go down? It's like, hello, I put a McBomb under the McTable. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
You know?
Don't cancel my McEuro passport.
You know, I don't know. But that kind of did put a bit of fear in me.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
they're
this
coming
could
for
happen.
you. They're coming for you.
Yeah, you know.
We don't know when. But all we do know is they are coming for us, love.
It's probably Tony's friend. So, yeah.
So what was the different age between your brother who was playing Crash?
He's 4 years older than me.
4 years older. Okay. And it was his console.
Yeah.
So that's why you had to kind of get in there, have your tryst with Crash Bandicoot, get in, get out.
That's it, because again, the second he'd come home from school, he'd be straight on and he'd be playing. I'm like, come on, man, this is mine. I'm on this. Especially because it was kind of tricky for me because, you know, the whole game revolves around, the first game revolves around him saving his love interest, Tana, in the game.
Who is not nearly as hot. She is seriously punching.
And fun fact, they originally based it off of Pamela Anderson. That's what they were basing it off, but the graphics just didn't live up to that, you know? I
can't remember. Did she have geometric titties?
No, it wasn't a Lara Croft situation with triangle titties, but it was not, I mean, the graphics just weren't great for her.
Yeah.
And they actually cut her after the first game because they had like a lot of negative feedback from the software developer of like, we just don't like her character and that she was sexist. I don't know.
She was sexist?
Yeah, which I found odd.
Because I would have thought maybe, because I still find it interesting that Mario is still chasing after Peach, is still going after, that Bowser's still snatching up women. Yeah. That's still happening. That's still, and then Mario... And it's like, she's never going to fuck you, bro.
No.
You know, I know it's the honourable thing to do, but she's never going to fuck you, bro.
No.
You know? And look, you should never say this. But what's she saying to Bowser? No, I'm only messing. No, I'm only messing. I'm completely messing.
But yeah, so it was difficult for me because this game revolves around him trying to save his love interest, and I'm like just trying to get him to walk directly into me from the TV screen. So there was a lot of just playing directly into my direction because that was difficult.
Yeah, because he's running away the whole time, and you're like, please, maybe if I stand at the back of the TV.
Around. Yeah, exactly. You know, and again because I'm playing this game to try and help him win the love of his life, and I'm like, she's not though. That's me.
That's me.
You know.
Yeah, that's conflicted.
Do you know how I knew that I'm really into this guy? Because I was like, do you know what? If that's what he wants, I'm gonna help him get that.
Oh my God, that's so sweet. If you love someone, set them free. Is that what they say?
Yeah, and then she got cut after the first game, so I suppose serves her fucking right, this bitch. But yeah, that was tough.
She was based on Pamela Anderson. Do you know? I remember we had, you know, obviously Lara Croft, you know, the hottest bird there is. Oh my God, those triangles, you know. But I don't know if you remember action replay cards.
No.
These were a thing you'd plug into the back of your PlayStation into kind of like the SCART cable.
Oh yeah.
And you could basically input cheats into the game, and it would mess with the code. And basically, so you could do like Crash Bandicoot infinite amount of lives, and you'd put in a 16-digit bit of code, and it would rewrite the game, and you could like, you know, have infinite lives or infinite apples.
Yeah.
He fucking loves apples.
Wampa fruit.
Sorry.
But see, I adore apples. But I was like, this is meant to be. Like, this is it.
Yeah, keep running. Bring all those apples to me.
yeah, that's it. Honestly.
But there was a cheat to cheat. It was a way of corrupting the code to make Lara Croft look naked, right?
Oh.
And it was in a magazine, and I'm not messing. It was, I'd say, 16 A4 pages of digits that were about like 5, like font size 5, and we spent, I'm not messing, like 8 hours trying to get this done. We're like putting it in like a note, capital P, like reading it out, and then eventually getting it, and she's just like one shade of pink, like just one shade, like cell shaded of pink, you know, and she's blonde. They changed her to blonde as well, Lara Croft. And I'm running around, and we're like, all right, this is kind of hot, you know. And just thinking about how accessible boobs are for people these days. You know what I mean?
You had to go through 8 pages of code just to get a bit of flat titty. Like
it was tough, you know?
Oh my God. See, I don't know if I would have gone to that level for Crash. Now that you say that, I don't think I would have. I think he had enough of a tease with the jeans. I didn't need to see more. My imagination filled in the blanks there.
See, that's the difference. Men are just so dumb and blunt.
No, I think, and I remember talking to a friend about this, I've never really watched porn. It's never something I've done. And they were like, oh, you're so lucky in the sense of like, they just can't even use their imagination. They're like, I need it like now at this stage. Whereas I'm like, just use my imagination. It's fine. Fill in the blanks.
Exactly. But and you have that, and that's a well-oiled machine. Your imagination.
It sure is.
You know, me, I'm like, what does a boob look like in real life? Draw a picture of it. It's a smiley face.
But you remember, I remember getting like GTA and those games where if you put in the code, you could have like all these like the women following you around constantly. But the problem was if you saved the game, that bloody cheat never turned off.
No.
And it was a huge problem because then you're stuck anywhere you walked outside. You were just like a magnet.
Like
they were all
that.
Yeah, exactly. And it was actually so annoying.
Yeah.
But I never had the thing. I remember getting cheats for Crash Bandicoot. It was like just triangle, square X, like that you put in. Never had that thing that you put into the SCART lead. Yeah,
no, that was. I mean, it was mad. You're kind of, it would totally corrupt the game, and it would, it would it'd be glitchy as fuck because it wasn't like if these weren't built, it was like messing with the code to make it kind of like infinite. Do you play much now?
No, I don't. That's
great. Good. Yeah. You're out of it.
But you know the thing, because
you're out of the fucking skag.
I got onto the nicotine patches actually for it, but I found basically Crash Bandicoot was developed by Naughty Dog for the first 3 games, and up until CTR, the Crash Team Racing, and then I got taken over by Vivendi, and to me they changed what Crash even looked like, right? And it was like the way fucking EastEnders gets a new Ben Mitchell actor every two episodes, or like we can't, come on. It's like The Simpsons and Homer, changing, from those early seasons. I was like, it's not the Crash I fell in love with anymore.
No.
And the games just kind of lost really what they were about.
Yeah.
It just kind of got a little just too, come on now. We're done with this.
But I suppose, I mean, keep in mind, you were kind of filling in a massive blank here where you're putting a lot of emotional weight on the fact that he is running to collect all the apples to come to you for a big apple feast. That's the world you're living in. And now they have to like do like narrative, and they have to do all this.
Yeah, it did. It just took the fun out of it for me. And because I love CTR, that's like probably the last game of them. I remember they did Crash Bash and different ones. It was like more like a party game that you could play with friends. And I was like, no, this is a private thing between me and Crash. Thanks very much. I don't want more people getting in on this. Yeah. But it just, it's not, I didn't get as much into, I think PlayStation 3 was the last console I had. I'd always been PlayStation though.
Well, what's interesting now recently is that PlayStation don't own the rights to Crash Bandicoot. So essentially Activision have the rights to Crash Bandicoot, and they were now recently bought by Xbox. So Xbox own
that's
Crash Bandicoot.
Fucking wrong to me now. That's entirely wrong.
And Spyro, I think.
Because the thing about Crash was that it only was available on PlayStation for like the first 3 games, even up until CTR.
He was kind of like a placeholder mascot.
That's what I fucking loved about it as well, because I was so diehard PlayStation. That's really upsetting.
I know. I'm so sorry.
No,
but it's
glad,
it's a different Crash.
Yeah, it's not the Crash. Yeah, because even the voice actor, the original guy, is called Brendan O'Brien, which I just think is like, is he from fucking Mullingar?
Where are you from? My ears just perked up like a fucking Irish meerkat. Who the fuck's he from?
Exactly. And how's he doing this Crash voice? Which is like, that must have been, how do you even get that job to be like the guy who goes, wow, or like
that's good. That's good. Is that your acting lessons?
Coming in strong. €1,000 well spent. But no, he's actually an LA actor, which I was surprised by.
That's surprising by his name. Big Spud. I saw a picture and big fucking Spuddy head on him.
But like, that must be a fun thing to voice a game like that. Would you ever like to voice a video game?
Yeah, I'd love to. I was about to do. I did like a kind of a demo for this this group. And I was kind of like this guy, like Stephen Merchant did a voice in Portal 2. I don't know if you ever played that. It's a really good game. And he's kind of like this kind of like wisecracking robot that's kind of educating you through the game, but he's also just so self-aware and really funny, and it's probably one of the funniest video game performances. So I had to do like a similar role of being kind of the tutorial, but with a bit of character. But I'd love to do that. Gavin Dre, my pal from Dream Gun, is in all the games.
That's unbelievable.
He plays the fucking High King of Tara in Assassin's Creed. Yeah. And he's also, V in Cyberpunk, and he's very good.
I was telling my friend that recently, because they didn't realize that about the Cyberpunk one, and they were like fucking fascinated then. Yeah. Because you just would not really. It's not, if you're not really into games, you wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't. But he also was just such a kind of a lovely kind of like not fixated on social media sort of guy, you know. And yeah, you did Cyberpunk, and you know, this is fun. Yeah.
Those people that just casually throw in all these things, and you're like, oh wow,
what do you have?
So humble.
How do I get that shit? Just fucking hook it up to my veins. So you said a bit with Crash that, you know, they kind of changed them, they kind of ruined them. How are you with like things that you like? Say if there's a franchise and it doesn't go the direction you like, are you able to kind of be like, look, I like what I liked, and that nothing's ruined, or are you like, they've taken it away from me, my childhood is fucked?
Well, I remember there was it's one of the jokes in Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis, and he's asking, no, Jerry Seinfeld says back to him of like, how do you feel about The Hangover? Do you think that you managed to ruin a comedy classic film by deciding to make it into, you know, a franchise or a trilogy? Did you think you actually ruined what would have been a perfect comedy movie by cashing out? And that's a really good question.
Great question,
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But I'm able to just take it for what it was. I don't get that diehard about it, because we're all gonna die. Like, you know, life's really get these people that get really caught up in it, like they've ruined the integrity. I'm like, come on, it's a game.
But the only string connecting, like, say, you know, if there's a Star Wars 1 and a Star Wars 2, the only string is you accepting that the one follows the other. Yeah. Like, you're linking them. You're and that's your emotional kind of, you know, investment. Yeah. And that's the only thing. So if you can kind of take that away a little bit.
But like, would you be like that? Would you take things very...
I was, and I still can be like that a little bit. Like this new Boba Fett show, I think they're kind of... I don't like their take on Boba Fett. Even though there's no... Boba Fett doesn't feature... in other Star Wars, like, he basically has one line, but he's just a figure, he's a presence. So there's no history really of Boba Fett. So you can kind of do whatever you want, and I'm still like, they're ruining Boba Fett.
I do.
But intellectually, I'm able to, you know, I don't get so invested, but I can have my opinions.
Not that I get invested. It was like, because I can still use my own imagination and be like, well, this is what I would have done if I was doing the origin story for whoever. Like, but it's just like, it does get sad. You're like, you really just cashed out here, and it's like, that's sad. Like, you had something wonderful, and you just wanted the moolah. And
then you wanted to make Crash just a bit different looking, you know?
Yeah. Just, do you know when something just a little bit off? Again, it's like the Homer Simpson change. That was drastic.
Yeah, I really liked him when he was like, hey, Bart, sleep in your bathwater, Bart.
It shows how far we've come.
How far we've come.
Again, just because you take that for granted, as you were saying about the idea of 8 pages of code to see a bit of flash titty. Like, how easily people now can just get stuff. Look at
how easily. But you know what? That's actually at odds with how I kind of view the world at the moment, because, you know, like, you don't really see, you'd be more likely to see a penis as a joke in a movie than you would a boob in a comedy.
Yes.
You know, that it's more likely just to show a flaccid penis for the laugh. It's kind of gone to a, you know, I wouldn't say the pendulum. I don't want to use that kind of analogy. Just men should have the right to see tits and hide penises. No, but I kind of feel, but it has probably been the most accessible way in history for people to actually, you know, look at things like that. It just isn't in kind of Hollywood, so it actually isn't.
But there's something, I think, funnier about seeing a flaccid penis than,
big time.
You know, you look at a pair of breasts and it's like they're meant to be nice or something.
Yeah.
Whereas I think there's a more of a funny aspect to a flaccid.
Because I think previously it was kind of shown...
This is the most in-depth serious discussion.
No, this is good. Because, well, the thing was, right, if there was boobs in a comedy previously, it was usually because the boobs weren't supposed to be seen. Yeah. And it was kind of that's assault.
Yeah.
That's assault.
Yeah.
A man's kind of penis is kind of like, it's used as kind of something pathetic.
Yes,
which
exactly
is kind of to subvert what we would previously led to believe in previous films. You know, so it kind of subverts expectations. You know, Jason Segel sitting there with his penis out in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
But now for boobs to be there in a funny way, you know, like, I don't know, is there American Werewolf in London? He goes in, there's women with boobs out, you know, like or shower scene in Porky's and stuff like that. It's always a kind of taboo boob.
Yeah.
You know, it's titillation. Pardon the taboob.
There you go. Yeah. Slang. Yeah. Exactly that.
So I don't know how we got onto that, but I'm gonna get out of that and ask you: is your proudest credit the Nobber Wikipedia page, where you're featured as a person of note?
I did not see that until someone sent me a screenshot and sent it to me, and I was like, "What?" Because, again, when you're up against the other people, there's a blind harpist in there.
There's a blind harpist. I saw him.
O'Carlin is a blind harpist. How am I meant to compete with that?
I don't know. Look at your videos.
Yeah, that's a lot. There's an architect as well. I think there's 4 people now.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't click onto yours until
No, which just shows you that I'm not there yet.
But is that? I mean, that's got to be. That's like a bronze plaque for millennials like us to be featured on that.
Well, that was crazy. But then as well, someone sent me like a screenshot of this site where it's like a fake wannabe Wikipedia page. I don't know who's doing these, but it's like has these fun facts about Justine. It's like, did you know Justine was born in Iran? Like,
what?
News to me. But they clearly like typed something in wrong, but like they were going off. I think
Ireland.
My LinkedIn, they have like infos of like, Justine worked as a creator, like these things. But then most comically of all, it says her net worth is 400,000. I'm like, sorry, what? Where are you getting this figure? Because if the tax man sees that,
yeah, Jesus, that'd be 200 grand, yo.
That fucking, I'm not seeing that money. I'd love to know where that fucking 400 grand is.
Ask the Try Channel.
That's as a whole. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
Whereas they think, oh, well, she's in that. That must be all hers. I'm like, I wish.
Is that a Try Wikia that you're featured on? Are all the
no? I mean,
Try members on
this
that?
all comes from. You have some diehard fans from that just obviously maybe decide to give you a bit of a page or stuff like that. Whereas someone took all my feet pictures and put them on WikiFeet.
Are you on WikiFeet?
Yeah, they'd. But like, it's like they screen, because I don't put up
your
pictures of my
Converse
feet.
and your fucking Vans.
It's like I was on holidays in Italy like 6 years ago, and I'm in a sandal. And it's, I mean, like they really had to crop in because his sandal is like really small in the picture. Same with like a pair of heels. But they've taken all these and like scroll back through years to put it up. But I do
know
have
too many people on WikiFeet.
But I do have a 4 out of 5 star rating. So I mean,
that's pretty good. What did they dunk you on? Placement, spread, up toes, heel.
Yeah,
heel.
But I just don't get it with that. Like, and I've had people message me asking, like, some people offered me €300 for a foot pick.
Oh my God.
And I just don't know, like, I've never done it.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Where does it end? Then they want an ankle and then a shin. I don't know.
God forbid the shin.
A knee.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
God, where does it end? You know?
that would be like feeding a stray cat, though. That's dangerous now.
Yeah, but again, because then people that would slide into the DMs that are like, I'm a cash pig, or I don't even know, is that the term? There's this
cash cow.
No, a pay pig. There we go. Getting all these.
Yeah.
You're right with only showing your son one animal at a time. See, you get confusing. There's too many of them. But
a donkey? All I know is donkey. What's that pet there? A donkey?
But it's like a pay pig where they just want to send you money and they get like some kind of sexual gratification out of that. Which I don't know. Like, it's never something that I just always be like, oh God. Just never something I've dabbled in.
I mean, it's the epitome of notions, isn't it? Like, sending people photos of selling farts in a jar, like the one who ended up hospitalized.
Yeah. But that's like, I mean, I'm kind of like genius at the same time. Like,
I know. If you could disassociate a little bit, and you were like, "What is it you want me to do? Okay, and how much? Okay, grand." And then you just do it, and then it's done. And then if you could,
if the price is right,
well, no, I got 300 last time, so 300 is my limit, and that's it. You send the email, you don't think about it again. You just,
they're like NFTs then, or some shit.
NFTs.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
NFTs. NFTs. Oh my God. Yeah. Taboob and NFTs. Here
Taboob.
We go. This is
so what else was I was going to jump onto something else and I completely forgot it.
You do your research for this. Look at you looking up Wikipedia.
I did. I looked up Nobber. Irish for ubber, meaning the work.
It is the work, yeah. And
is it hard work?
Very. Because it's growing up in the country probably explains why I did start to learn to juggle and find ways to distract myself, because there's not a lot to do. And like, I do find the difference if then you can move up to the country, and like I really had to learn to enunciate, because that's something that when I'm back home my accent will come out a lot thicker. And I remember starting in college on the first day, and the lecturer went round to everyone saying like, how are you getting on and stuff, and I was like, oh, she's just grand on bother. And he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't actually understand a word of that. And it would be it's tough when you go back down, because it comes out thicker then. But
you not like realize, because I hear sometimes people say that and they like, oh, so I had to do this, and I realized people didn't like that. Like, do you not realize everyone who told you that is a prick? Anyone ever made you feel that is a prick, and that you're right? And you just kind of go back sometimes and just scroll through, and you're like, actually, no, I was dead right, and that person's an absolute prick, you know. And
no, you do in hindsight. But again, I was just being like, oh God, I'm trying to get past the waistcoat sag. I'm just like, maybe I'll just try and fit in a bit here and try not, stand out too much.
Sure.
But in hindsight, definitely. But again, like even if I have a pint, I can just feel the jaw drop and down on me, and it's coming out. You can't hold it back. Yeah. So
I don't know if I've been to Meath.
Stop! You've definitely been to Meath. Have you been to Tato Park?
Yeah.
That's Meath.
Okay. Well. So I have a general sense of Meath.
I wouldn't classify. There's kind of like there's a lot of Dublin that's kind of spread into Meath now.
There is. Sorry about that.
Because like
I'll clean that up.
Yeah, do get on it. The work. But it's like spread out that like it's so funny the differences in accents within Meath, because you've North Meath where I am, and it's thick. Like, we're not cultured, we're agricultured, and and proud. And then you have like Dunboyne where it's kind of like a south side Dublin accent. Yeah. And then you have like Ashburn where it's north side Dublin. Yeah. It's actually impressive.
Michael Fry's, he's Meath, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Navan. He's only about 15 minutes up the road where I'm originally from, which is crazy because our accents are...
Oh God, yeah. Like, what are you? What species are you?
What's going on here? Yeah. So it is. There's a lot of accents within Meath, I find.
So what would you recommend? So Tato Park, right, done. Yeah. What else should I check out in Meath?
Oh no, like there's not a lot to do.
Okay, say if Anthony Bourdain, right? Anthony Bourdain had this show called The Layover, and it was a whole thing where he'd spend essentially 36 hours. In somewhere.
Place.
So he would basically land in the morning. He would be there for the whole day. He'd stay overnight, and then he'd be flying off lunchtime the next day. So if I only have that amount of time, what would you recommend if I do get the best of Meath?
Yeah, I mean, get a few cans.
Okay.
Go back to Tato Park, maybe do it again with a few cans. Tato Park then as well is a bit. I mean, you'd go to Navan, kind of our capital, I would say. There's a lot of begrudgery between Navan and Trim. There's a lot of up Navan, fuck Trim, and a lot of up Trim, fuck Navan. Now, Navan has a lot to offer in terms of people, because, you've Dylan Moore and Tommy Tiernan and Pierce Brosnan. All come from Navan, and Michael Fry as well.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on in Navan. So it might just be nice to get
That's
there.
That's a fairly jacked Wikipedia notable people.
There you go. Yeah. 100%.
Sorry, actually, I've been to Trim.
Yeah, there you go. I think you just forget, like, Dublin is so, you just forget that
because I'm sorry, I get abused for this, right? My map of Ireland up until I was 26 was like the M50 and then sea and monsters, like those old maps of the old world, and it's all like the uncharted lands. I know nothing. I'm just so fucking gormless. I actually tried to commission a show for RT called Gormless Dub, where I would actually go to different counties because I know nothing. And I like really, now I've traveled a bit more, and it did actually spend a weekend. Trim's lovely.
Yeah, well, I mean, two of the best films ever made, Braveheart and Fatal Deviation.
Yes.
Shot there. So.
Both in the castle. It's insane. William Wallace is being like beheaded, and then like 2 months later, it's fucking people are kicking the shit out of each other.
What the fuck is this? Honestly, one of my favourite quotes of all time. And as well, you're on Rob McElhenney. Like they went scouting some locations for Always Sunny there.
Really?
So Trim's got it going on.
Right, then I've been all over me. I went to Tato Park. I've seen Trim Castle. I have the whole idea in my head.
Matt Damon. They'd filmed part of the remember when he was here last year?
Oh yeah,
Super
Last
Value?
Jewel.
Yeah, part of it, that was Trim as well.
Remember he was last year, Super Value bag? Yeah, I remember the iconic.
I don't remember the movie, just the Super Value
bag. When he was there with the bag, he had the foot out. One snap of him, like that fucking footage, like Bigfoot when he walks like that, Yeah.
Oh God, that must be tough, because you can't not take the photo.
No, of course,
you just sign up for part and parcel of being, that level of celebrity that you just take the photo.
I heard him on Mark Maron. He was all like, stay in this lovely little town called Dalkey, and I'm like, that, people like paint that like it's a small town, and it's not like the pillar that looks down upon, but they probably don't. That's my emotional baggage putting on that. That isn't the real story. Yeah.
But see, then if they put him up in Nobber, I'm there like, what the hell is Matt Damon going to do Nobber? As in, go to Centre and get a box of wedges. That's about the height of the things.
Hey, that's one big ice cream cone you got outside that shop. I went to Nobber, saw that big ice cream cone you guys got.
We have D Local, that's the pub.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because the River Dee flows through Nobber, so the D's in Nobber, it's just all great names.
What do you think you would have to do to get, what's the minimum you would have to get to have like a homecoming for Nobber for you?
Oh God. You know, around Nobber that I think the likes of Rose of Tralee or something would actually be a big one.
Yeah.
That would be a big one now. And again, that wouldn't be my cup of tea now. That wouldn't be something I'd be going for. But like say when I did when I was doing Ray Darcy, like, and I did. No,
when he was
Jesus.
Yeah. We get sick in here. Give it a shot as well.
I was supposed to say when I was on Ray Darcy. That's not any better. When I was on the Ray Darcy show, that was big. That was big talk around the parish.
When you were in comedy. With the greatest respect to the winner, but when you were robbed.
But see, then on the flip side of that, it was that I had said, you know, paedophile and dick live on telly. That kind of brought me down in the parish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like there was a lot of people saying, oh, you know, she was great, but just the language. There was no need for that. You know, that even still there'd be a bit of, that's your one with the filthy mouth. You know? But, see, because my dad's name is Justin, and for a lot of time people...
I was wondering where Justine...
Yeah, they really thought outside the box there. But a lot of the time people would go up to him, they hadn't watched it, but they'd heard. And they'd go up to him saying, I heard you have a fucking filthy mouth. And you're like, Dad's like, sorry, what are you talking about? Like,
isn't he local?
Yeah, or like going up and just be like, oh yeah, you think you're a comedian, do you? And he's like, what? Like they just don't realise it's his daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you look a lot like him.
Do you know when people say that and you're just, what was the picture someone shared? It was like when someone says you look like your dad, and it's like The Rock in drag. There was like something he did for SNL, and it's like that's what I always just picture. It's like there's no complimentary way to say I look like my dad. So I probably look more like him than my mother, I would say, but I don't really look like either. Kind of.
Yeah.
I like to tell myself, just because you don't want to hear you look like your dad as a girl.
No, I know. I used to say that when people said I look like my mum, I'm like, I'm not a girl.
No, but that's because then I'd answer the phone and people would think I was my brother, and I'm like, great, now I sound like a boy, like, and now I look like my dad. Like it's.
Well, you do sound like a girl, but I think you could do a good boys. You could do like a Bart Simpson. Like I feel like you could, if then for a cartoon, you could be a young boy
for the right price.
Yeah, for the right price. I have one more question for you.
Go on.
Well, one more topic I'd like to know. What do you think, if you grew up in this age, like say you were 16 now, what of the stuff that you've seen, all the weird kind of subcultures that people like, people are mad into like fucking furries, and people are, mad into TikTok dances and stuff like that. Where do you think you would fall now if you were like 16? What kind of shit do you think you'd be into?
It's actually really tough because I grew up with the internet, not on the internet, and I think the generation now are on the internet, and I think it's diabolical. Like, and so much of the stuff that I do is on social media, and I hate it. It's such a love-hate. Yeah,
I'm trying to find a social media that goes one way, like just put stuff out.
Yeah,
and I can't.
I don't have to. It's and that's why I'm trying to do more stuff this year, of like writing stuff for like TV, or like trying to get more into that kind of thing, because I don't want to be doing stuff on social media the whole time, because then as well, like you go off it for a few days and I'm like, I'm missing out, like, and I don't have videos to make that are relevant because I don't know what's happening online. I don't know what's happening, and it's a horrible saga. So
you're tethered permanently, aren't you?
It's tough for all of us. But like I'm thinking about when I was 16, Bebo was just at, and I think that's where we peaked with social media, where you just had to put in an arrow saying random legend to the left. Your top 16 was your biggest fear. That was your biggest stress.
I'd have mine in order, to be honest, be a couple of dregs down there at the bottom. I know.
And you just had to put them in because they put them in you were in theirs. I'm like, I want to right.
What was your Flashbox?
I had Brick from Anchorman.
Oh, great.
Yeah, just doing a load of quotes.
That's brilliant.
But see, because that used to scare me when you'd go onto someone's page and it would be a video from YouTube that the first like 20 seconds don't play. So you think they didn't have one and it's quiet, and then suddenly Cascada is being blasted out in your face.
Yeah, that's tough.
That was Bebo. That was great. Did you have another half?
What you mean? What was another half?
You could have like your friend or like someone as your other half on Bebo. Or
I think that might have been something that
you're an emo. You probably had It's Complicated, and that was it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, I preferred MySpace, because MySpace was kind of like just you could kind of adopt a fake. You could put like an X Tony X.
Yeah.
It was less about school. It was more.
And not everyone was on it. You had to be really cool to be on MySpace in Ireland. I think it was far more of an American thing. So like I had cousins in America that's why I was on it, but like there was feck all people from school, and it was all the people into music that were on it. So like, these are the cool.
I put my music on there. That's why I found a lot of music. I would actively seek out unpopular music, you know, just because you want to be that hip and trendy. You want to get there.
You were ahead of the curve.
I was there. My friends just like there, you know, right in front, covering, getting the angle.
I was going on to ratemyteacher.com. Do you remember that website?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
Mrs. O'Reilly. Yeah.
1 star, 1 star, 1 star. Why did you let me go on this website? 1 star.
Why did they make that a thing? It was such a nightmare.
They barred it in our school. They were like, "Don't be using that." And I'm like, "Well, now we fucking will." Picture of an egg being like, they beat me up. You know.
Yeah, and it was clearly like the teachers going in and writing reviews about themselves. That was totally happening in our school.
Because it was really like well worded and like, you know, I found their attention to detail immaculate. What's fucking
the English teacher? Like, but if I was 16 today, it's so hard to know. It's actually, it would upset me to think that I'd be growing up making TikTok dances, because I don't think I would have gotten into juggling or waistcoats because I'd be too distracted with me.
I think I would be making all those like fake Dawson's Creek, almost being like, you walk in POV, walk in being like, you know, how dare you hurt me like that? And then like in the fake talk back part, I would have been making all those soap operas about myself.
This is it. I used to always be making short films and videos like since I was 11. I got a camcorder from Christmas, and then I started entering like Irish youth film festivals and stuff. So I was
you had some monumental success, didn't you?
I was in South Korea representing Ireland. Madness at 15. And like you're going around, the first thing you see when you walk into Seoul is a big poster of Pierce Brosnan saying "Welcome to Seoul," and I'm like, you're from fucking 15 minutes up the road.
That's insane.
Just go 360 on the plane. It was crazy. But then I had a translator for that trip, and you're like, whatever about translating English, but at this time my accent was very indecipherable. I felt sorry for that poor translator. But so I think I'd be making those. Like I used to, you know, you'd be doing things with a camcorder, and then you couldn't, editing software didn't exist, so you would pause and then move to record again, and then pause. And if someone fucked up the take, you had to rewind the tape. So I think I would be doing all those. It would just be on a TikTok now, or like an audience like that, which is kind of scary, because you know that could just take off for someone now, and I don't think I could handle that.
Sometimes it can take off in the wrong way. Sometimes someone who is making funny videos, you know, does a booty shake, and that blows up, and guess what? They've now hedged their bets on that as their future rather than what they actually wanted to do.
Exactly,
you know, that's a bit scary.
It's terrifying. And then again, so much of that and so much of the hate you can get back compared to when we were on it. I don't think there really existed as much when I was back in the early days.
There was no real, like, you know, apart from YouTube, there was no real access to anonymous people or even just anyone you didn't know, really, you know. But you're kind of pouring your heart and soul out there, and then like I find people on TikTok very rude to me.
But I think there's just because you can be an absolute nobody, like, and you can't be traceable essentially with your fucking user 79 blah 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 username. You know, that I think people actively just go on just because they want to just ruin people's days.
Isn't it just so fucking terrifying that this is the most accessible and, you know, broadcast to the youngest, and probably the most, you know, affecting in terms of people actually being able to reach you, private message you,
completely.
And, you know,
but that's the most like important formative years that truly, like, if I was on that now, it would ruin me. And I honestly, for kids now, I just think it's fucked entirely. Of like, it's ruining their brains. I really do. Like social media, and I don't want to be that old one, you know, who doesn't get it. But I'm just saying, of like, to have access instantly to all these comments and feedback about you, and then it's shaping of how you view yourself, you're in the world and everything. I think it's really scary about what the future is going to be like for people.
Do you have any ways that do you have any things that you do to try and like kind of
I cry
inhibit? Okay. Great.
I cry, and have a lot of breakdowns. No, it's really tough to get that balance right, because without it, you know, you don't have your income, or you don't have the thing that you've built up to pursue more of a career. And it's like, it's such a catch-22 for me. Anyway, I don't know how you feel about stuff at times, but like I find it very difficult times.
I do find it hard sometimes when I feel like I should, the obligation to be there and to be posting stuff. But then something that's helped recently, because I just don't have the time to post as much as I'd like to, is like Ryan Carrick, right? Ryan Carrick posted a video there. I hadn't seen a video for weeks. He came back, smashed it out of park, and I'm like, there he fucking is. There's Ryan Carrick.
Exactly.
And that's the feeling that I feel because I like Ryan Carrick. So I assume people might have the same feeling for me if I don't post anything. It's just like, oh, there you are. That's great. Smash it out of park. And it's just...
Exactly, because you take for granted, like, that people love your stuff and loved your stuff, that if there's a 6-month gap, like my fear would be, geez, if it exists, the world will move on. And the thing is, like, Ryan, prime example of that, no they didn't. People still fucking love your stuff and you're still fantastic. That, like, then on the flip side of it, I start panicking, like, oh, if I'm not putting something out, because you log on, you see how much other people are doing. I'm like, fuck, I need to keep up. And then what happens is you're putting out stuff that you don't even really believe in, and then you're like, I'm just fucking trying to feed this algorithm that I don't actually...
Yeah,
my heart isn't in this, and that's visible, and that people see that, then they're like, oh, Justine's last video wasn't fucking great, was it? So it's nearly better to not be constantly.
Yeah, but people don't hold you up to the last every single time, or they're not so comparative. I just think everyone you do. Yeah. And also it can feel sometimes that, like, everyone's being prolific and making things. You kind of like amalgamate everyone into one person who is constantly making something, when in reality it's like, oh no, they did something and they haven't been up for a couple of weeks, but I saw someone else's video or whatever.
Exactly.
Is this relatable? Have we gotten into relatable territory for people? No, but I would love to figure out a way of kind of mitigating the effects that has on me, because I even found I've talked about it on the podcast before. I remember having come from a gig and then seeing you did a gig, and then thinking, fuck's sake, why am I doing a gig? And I kicked the shit out of myself. And I'm like, and I had to remind myself I just came from a gig.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Like, and I love these people that I'm like fucking delighted for, and in the back of my head I'm like, but I'm shit. Like, I'm the worst. Why why am I not bloody doing things? It's so tough. And that there's times where I just honestly do go off of social media, don't look at it, and that makes me feel so much better, because I don't know what anyone's doing, and I'm like, I can't feel shit about myself because I don't know what people are doing. But then I feel I don't know what people are doing. I'm not in the loop. It's literally two sides of a coin. It's so tough. So what would be your advice for young Zoomers that might, because I don't swear anymore famously in this podcast, so I have a new Zoomer audience. Oh God, I'm so sorry because I let out a few. No, that's fine. Look, we don't swear. We keep this clean. Oh God, sorry. What would you? Thanks for telling me at the end of this. No, I'm messing. I don't have that. Maybe buy a pair of Heelys. The expensive ones. Yeah, the full on, because just glide through your problems. I just think, don't have feelies, have Heelys. That's brilliant. Justine, where can people see your subpar work that only comes out every so often and actually isn't as good as your old stuff? Yeah, I have it on my Instagram, which is Justine Stafford _. Do you know, I actually had it as Justine Stafford, and then I deleted the account when I was like 13, and then someone else took it. So I'm a fool. But yeah, and Justine Stafford on Twitter and YouTube and TikTok. And you're very good. And you're very fucking funny. You're very good. Justine, thanks so much for chatting to me. Pleasure as always, Tony. Thanks for having me. Thank you. It's Tony Gilbert Shit Show.